Hi guys, you're welcome to my channel. In this video I'll be showing you how to make a crop top. So we're going to draft it, cut and sew with clean finishing. Okay, so here I'll be marking the bust point from your shoulder to your breast. That's the bust. Then the shoulder to the top length, or we can just make it like on your waistline or 1 inch below the waistline. Then you add your hem allowance. Okay, so I'll just roll it out now. That's the hem. Okay, then the neckline, I will measure 3 for the neck width. The shoulder length divided by 2, you come down by 1 inch. You measure your armhole. Okay, measure the armhole and roll it out. You know this 1 inch is for the shoulder slope, and for the armhole is your bust divided by 6 plus 1.5. So whatever you have on your armhole, you divide it by 2, mark it, then you go in by 3/4 inch. So this is to allow a good fitting at the bust area to avoid excess fabric there. So I'm extending the neck width to 4 inches and the neck depth to about 5 or 5.5. It depends on how you want your neckline. So a neck depth of 5 inches is not too much. It's still high up, but depends on you. Then a quarter of my bust round, whatever it is, you will place it there at the upper chest line. Then I added 2 inches for my seam allowance. Okay, then whatever I have on the bust area, that's what I'm taking to the so I'm using the same measurement for the bust and also on the top length. That's all. Then we'll go on and draft the back. So for the back, I'll measure my bust point also, and also the waistline or the top length. And like we said, it's a crop top, so it's not a long top. It's top at the waistline. Okay, so the whole of that pattern is the length, the actual length. Okay, so that I don't have to rule out the down part. So I'll measure 1 inch for the zipper allowance. That's the 1 inch because there'll be a zipper at the back. Okay, then we measure the neck width, which is 3 inches, the shoulder and the east. Then you come down by 1 inch, fixing your armhole, just making sure I have the same thing up at the chest line. Okay, then you create your shoulder slope, create the armhole, yes, and the chest line. So for the back pattern, you just create the cuff like this. There's no need of going in by 3/4. So if you remember, we have 4 inches for the neck width in the front. Then for the neck width at the back, I think I use about 3 inches or 4. It depends on what you want. You can use 2 inches, you can use 1.5. Okay, so I use 3 inches because of the zipper, so that will be easy to bring it down. Then a quarter of your bust round, then 2 inches for seam allowance. You measure it there. And also at the top length, the same thing you have up, you measure it on the waistline also. So now at the center back, I'm going to measure 3/4 inch and blend it up slightly. You can measure 1/2 inch and 3/4 inch. So this method helped me to remove excess fabric at the back. I know it's a free top, but I still choose to do this just to have good fittings for the clothes. Then we'll cut it out. So carefully cut it out. Okay, so this is what we have for the pattern for both front and back. Then you put your fabric, this is the fabric I'll be using. You fold it this way and you carefully place your paper on it. Secure it with pin before you cut it out. So that's one of the advantage of the pattern paper. It helps you to manage your fabric properly. So we'll cut the back also. Okay, so now let's work on the dress on the top. So I've removed the pattern paper. As you can see, both are on fold. I cut out the lining also. So this is the center front. So you place the lining on the right side this way. The lining does not really have wrong or right side. So you can just use your chalk to mark it. So I'm going to sew 1/2 inch on the neckline. Okay, so please just watch the video carefully. Then I'm going to notch because it's a cuff part. In order for it to lie properly, I'm going to notch it. You remove the pin, flip the lining over so that the lining can be on the inside. Then you iron. So this is the back. Removing the paper. The center back is open, so I'll have two pieces. So I have to chalk the wrong side of the lining. So I'll pick one part of the fabric and attach it to one to a lining, and you place them right side to right side. Okay, make sure you secure it properly so that we can secure the neckline as well. So I'm going to sew the neckline and also the center back. But I remember something. I have to reduce the length of my lining. So I should have done this before bringing it to the sewing machine. So I'll pick up all the lining and reduce them by either 2 inches or 1.5 inch. My hem allowance is 2 inches, so I have to reduce the lining by 1.5. Then I will use the remaining 1.5 inch to join it. So I will reduce my lining by 1.5 inches. Please be careful when you are cutting it out. So in this way, the lining is shorter than the main fabric. So we'll get back to that. So I have to sew the neckline and notch. So I'm working on the back piece now. Make sure you notch. Now, see the way I'm going to do it. So I have to pull the lining to be on the same edge with the fabric and stitch on 1/2 inch. That's at the hem of the clothes. So this is it. I remove the pin. You can see there's excess on the fabric part. So you now pull the excess to the down part. You can see the excess. Pull it to the down part and stitch on 1/4 inch. This is the center back. Please remember, I'm working on, so stitch on 1/4 inch this way. So flip it to the right side. So this is what it looks like. Look at the end part. You can see it's clean. So this is to give you a clean finishing at the hem line. So you do the same thing for the whole pieces. So this is the second back pattern. So I'll bring them together again and stitch on 1/2 inch. So I'm doing this while it's on right side to right side. Okay, then the same way I work on the first one, I'll do this stitch on 1/4 inch also at the center back and flip it over and see the hem, how the hemming looks like. Okay, and this is the front pattern, the front pieces. You can see I've turned the lining over, bringing it on the right side of the main fabric, and I'll stitch on 1/2 inch. Then you turn it back, you give it a good press. Okay, so now this is it for the back, and this is the second side of the bag. You can see the fine print. Okay, and this is our front piece. So now we need to join this cloth at the shoulder. So you bring them Let the neckline align. You bring the shoulder together. Please watch this part carefully also. Bring the shoulder together like this. Then remove the uppermost pieces that will be my lining for this part and flip it over. So that means one is enclosing the other. So the one that is inside, you make sure you align it properly to the joining. Make sure it is well fixed. You use your hand to secure it. Just watch me carefully. Make sure it's exactly at the joining part. You make sure it's firm. Then you mark your joining allowance and stitch it. Cut out the rope and you flip it over so that you have this clean joining here. Then you do the same thing for the second part. Pick the second part of the back, place it on the front pieces also. And flip it over. So make sure you arrange it properly. When you get there, when you're trying it yourself, you understand this part better. Arrange it properly. Then you stitch. Mark whatever is your joining allowance. Me, I use one on that shoulder part. Then I'll sew down to 1/2 inch. That's the method I will do work with. So this is it. The joining at the shoulder is enclosed and is secured. So now I'm going to mark the zipper allowance for the back. I'll first secure it with pin in order for me to join the top at the side. So this is another method in order to have an enclosed side seam. So now you mark your seam allowance, whatever your seam allowance is, you know it. Then I'm going to pick fabric to fabric first, the main fabric to fabric, front to back. Then I'll mark my seam allowance for the bust area and also at the hem line. So stitch it. If you notice that I'm not sewing on the lining yet. This is just fabric. So you sew it down to the hem line, you lock it, cut out the thread. Now I will now pick the lining. You can see the line. Okay, so arrange it properly. Now pick only the lining and flip it over so that the lining can be right side to right side also. See the way I'm turning it over, but make sure you are holding on to the lining while doing this. And I'm going to place the lining to right side and stitch on the same seam allowance that I sew on the main fabric. For more understanding, you can watch this carefully so that you know how to cover your seam neatly. Then you stitch. Sorry, that part is not so clear, but with this explanation, I hope you get it better. So you stitch down to where you stop the sewing on the main fabric, so that the whole sewing now, the stitching will be a continuous one from the lining back to the main fabric. Then you turn it over, you turn it back, and yep, this is what we have. You can see your seam is enclosed. That is it. Then you go on and do the same thing for the other side. You pick up the fabric to fabric, that will be right side to right side, and sew on the exact same allowance that is left or that you've measured early. So please do this carefully and you stop at the hem. At the hem line, cut out your excess stretch. Then you pick up the lining also. Make sure you are holding on to the lining as you are turning it over in order for the lining to be right side to right side. Then you stitch down to the hem line also, and make sure you close it. You end the stitching on the same place you end the initial sewing on the main fabric. Okay, so that is it. You flip it over and you can see that your seam are enclosed. So it's as simple as that, guys. So this is it. Then you go on and fix the zipper and also put in your desired sleeve. Okay, I hope you find it helpful. Please remember to give it a thumbs up, and if you're yet to subscribe to my channel, please subscribe. So this is what it looks like when I was done. I have a tutorial on how to fix your zipper and also this kind of sleeve. Thank you for watching. Bye.